All right. And we are back with stock picks after taking a 1 week break for the election. Um, Hi guys, this is Brock. For those who don't know me, you can follow me on Twitter at Don'tFeedBear. I provide videos, analysis, I make comments, I give you guys stock picks. I also give you NFL bets if any guys are interested in that. So this is for the week of 11/9. Right to start off, let's give a big congratulations to Joe Biden for winning the presidential election. This is good in many ways, whether you're Democrat or Republican. We all support the stock market, and the stock market likes it when they know what direction we're heading forward. So we now know who our president is, and there are some good things that could happen. I know some will say there's some bad things happen, but you know what? We have a decided presidency, so this is leaves takes away a lot of uncertainty, which is good for us. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So right off the bat, let's do our 10 shares slide. So, how much could you make purchasing 10 shares of my stock picks at a time? So if I've had 13 stock picks either hit their price target or they have gone their full 6 weeks and are at a profit. So this so far you'd make about $1,500, which hey, that's a good amount of money. So it may not be the growth that you want, and it'll be as fast as you want, but it's still money. So this is a good way to go about it if you have a smaller account. So just want to put that out there. My second highest performing stock is AMD. Great, acquisition of Xilinx, so they can now vertically integrate with their chip making manufacturing. So that's a huge win for them. Great long-term pick. I have very high confidence that they will be $100 by the end of the year at some point. So keep an eye on them. My other highest performing stock is Square. They've been running like crazy. They killed earnings. I mentioned them, and they are a long-term stock pick for the future. I see them doing quite well. Do not enter now, as they are they're hitting all-time highs. I would wait. So they are in the process of talks to possibly acquire Credit Karma. Once they purchase Credit Karma, usually you see a nice strong dip, and then it starts to climb back up. So if I were you guys, I would wait for that dip if you want to get into Square. So I'm already in Square, but that's what I'd wait for. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into. Oh wait, I have a new slide. So with the Biden presidency and COVID, it's not ramping down, but people kind of understand it a little bit better now. We kind of know what's here to stay and what's not. So for instance, I'm not going to talk about value plays here because we don't know which ones may enter bankruptcy. So what I'm going to talk about is four themes moving forward. So technology, obviously, a big one. Big data, all these new data companies coming out, Snow, Datadog, Fastly, things like that. Your Microsoft, things like that. AMD, Nvidia. These are all great tech companies. So these are all going to flourish in the future and be great pickups for your long-term portfolio. Home improvement is going to be huge too. A lot the home purchases were going through the roof because of the low interest rates. I mean, I bought a home as well. So I will be, buying stuff at Lowe's, Home Depot to work on home improvement, even Target to, make the interior look nice as well. So these are all, Walmart, those type of things, those type of stores, big box, home improvement type stores. Those are going to be big in the future. EVs are going to be huge. Biden loves, green energy. He wants to move away from oil, and so this is going to be big. You're changing from almost an entire fleet of internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. So this is going to be a huge winner in the future. I mean, I can see the EV sector is going to be red hot for probably the next 10 to 20 years. So I don't unless hydrogen makes a huge breakthrough, but I don't see that happening. I've already kind of seen the research there, and it doesn't look promising. So, last one is communications. So the 5G. So T-Mobile, Verizon, Apple. These trying to move to the 5G, get everybody onto 5G. This is going to be big in the future. So I think you're going to really like this. Keep an eye out for 5G. Skyworks. They're in that, and a lot of other 5G companies. So I would definitely keep an eye on this sector as well. I think these four sectors are positioned very well for the future. So just keep an eye on these things, and I'll keep bringing it up as we move through the weeks and months of this year and next year. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to my stock picks of the week. And for this week, we have Microsoft, Lowe's, Twilio, and Target. I really like these picks, as you know. I always take care of you guys. I explain here my current setup. I explain what's going through on them. I buy zone, cut loss, and price target on all four. I show you the charts that I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and jump into them. So right off the bat, first one I believe was Microsoft. So let's go ahead and look at Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft had actually pretty good earnings right here. As you can see, it went up, it went down, which was surprising because they across the board they look great and they're set up very well for the future. And so they took a small little dip right about, right here. And so then they started to climb up. So I think they're starting wave one. I think that was an ABC sideways correction because Microsoft is a very strong company. They've been, huge for years. And so obviously my 5 wave is not drawn to scale, but what I'm saying is we don't know where one is going to end. Is one done and it's going to start heading down now, or is it going to keep going this week? But either way, I can see Microsoft continuing to move up over the next couple months and before they hit, their next earnings. So they look like a strong company. So far, it's had, let's see, it's had great resistance right about here. As you can see, it keeps bouncing off. So Microsoft's a winner in my book. I think they're going to do very well. Let's see how they do next week. And yeah, I like them. They also give dividend, so that's always a positive. So, all right, up next, Lowe's. So Lowe's, as I mentioned, home improvement is going to be big. They kind of got a wedge, their wedge pattern here. They've been trading this kind of channel for a bit. I think that they want to, they want to go down a little bit first before they break out. So, always buy the dip. So just keep an eye on it. I think it's wedging. I think, you're starting to see a little bit of a trend down in their um, volume, but you also have earnings coming up. So I think maybe this week early, maybe Monday, or maybe it just takes off. We'll see. But I'm definitely playing this going into earnings, not this week, but next week on the, I believe 17th or 18th. It has earnings. So this is a good pickup. I think Lowe's will have a strong showing, and I think their earnings are going to be very strong as well. Question will be future guidance. So, I think it'll continue to be strong because the Fed has agreed to keep rates the same. So, and then home sales are still going up, so are still trending in the right direction. So we'll see. Okay, Twilio. Twilio, great company. They handle a lot of data stuff, things like that. One of these tech companies that just looks strong. So here, what it's kind of, I think what's going to happen. I personally think it's going to consolidate a bit, and then it's going to dip real quick. And so right in here, this box right here is kind of where I'd like you guys to buy if you are going to go for Twilio. I think we see a little bit of consolidation, but don't buy here. I mean, if you buy here, I guess it's okay because the trend is going up. It's looking like it's on wave three. But if you can grab it here at the dip in that channel, man, that's gonna be a great buy when it pops back up. So Twilio, looking good, looking strong. As you can see, the trend is continuing to go up. So I think this is a winner in the future. So feeling good about Twilio. Okay. Up next is one of our favorites, Target. So Target, this one was, I almost didn't use this one, but I thought this would be a good lesson. So the reason why Elliott wave theory is so difficult is because you could have multiple things going on. Right now, we had this big pop for earnings, right around here, but now you're kind of seeing that this could be a 5 wave right here. So it could be going up for wave three. So that's the question: is do I buy or do I wait for a dip and consolidate? So that's a good question. I think it's going to continue up going into earnings. Now, if it's not on a 5 wave, this is very possible right here that it's actually on an ABC correction, and then this is going to be, this right here will be um, wave one, wherever it is, two, three, four, five, like that. So this is a tough one. All I do know, and I believe that we could see a quick little dip, early this week, and then it's going to run up going into earnings. So I would say this is a strong buy. Target has been doing fantastic. It's only going to continue to do well. Um, I think it's setting up very well for a nice little run before earnings, and then, we'll see how earnings does. Okay, so, all right, let's jump back over here. Up next. Now, I changed this slide a bit because I was saying my earnings plays. These are, it was difficult because I would just say, oh yeah, I think these companies will beat earnings, but that doesn't always. You guys care about making money. You guys don't care about who beats earnings and who doesn't, as long as stock goes up, right? So what I started to do is I'm starting to look at ones that I think will have a nice little run up going into earnings. So I think Datadog is the first one. I think they're Tuesday after hours. And as you can see here, they're kind of on a five, they're starting up on wave three. Who knows? Maybe we get this really nice pop right here, but the days leading up to it should see a nice run up, and then if it it kills earnings, boom, we may be hit the end of wave three by Tuesday or Wednesday. So keep an eye on Datadog. They seem pretty well set up. Disney. Okay, so I think everyone has realized that their parks are not in, especially in California, Disneyland's not opening. However, they do have this great big wedge pattern here. I think they come back down a little bit, maybe even intraday they make the change. Comes down, it dips down in the morning and then starts heading up. So, but even if earnings don't go well, you can at least get the dip on the outside of the wedge. So, or sorry, buy the dip and then hope that it makes the run into earnings outside this wedge, and that'd be a nice little pickup for some, nice profit. But earnings, I think, are going to go well. I think they're committing to the streaming service, and I think in the future, maybe the next 5 to 10 years, they will be a real competitor for Netflix, especially once they start to get all the production and all those new original shows that they want to get going. They just don't have the volume or the quantity to compete with Netflix at this moment. So I think Disney's a good one as well. Okay, DraftKings. So DraftKings, a lot of gambling was approved in multiple states. So DraftKings future guidance could be what we're looking for here. I don't know how they've been doing lately, but they look like they've gone on an ABC correction and they could be taken off for wave one. Earnings could be huge because, like I said, um, a lot of states approved online gambling or gambling through an app like DraftKings. So that could be a big deal. Future guidance could be really good for them. So, and if it is, then we could see a nice little pop, going to earnings. This might be one that I possibly consider playing earnings, but we'll see. I gotta see how the week goes. You could play just the run up into earnings because the information I'm giving you is public information. People know this, so people might be buying into them before earnings. So we'll see. Buy the rumors, sell the news. So all right, up next we got our honorable mentions. So let's talk about Apple. Apple has a product reveal coming up. Apparently, it's a new laptop that is using Apple chips. Now, originally, people thought that Apple was going to be developing and manufacturing their own chips, but it actually means that they design them, and Taiwanese Semiconductor will manufacture them. Why is that a big deal? Well, that also helps Nvidia and also helps AMD because they no longer use Intel chips. So guess what? Intel's market share just went down. So that helps AMD. Um, this has a big play. What are people going to think? Because originally they thought they were going to manufacture their own chips, but guess not. So what will people think of this? This is why it's on the honorable mention list. It could pop because people like that they're creating their own chips, or they could be disappointed because they thought Apple was going to start manufacturing, not using a third party. So we'll see how that goes. Uh, Aurora Cannabis. I jumped into this on Friday morning. I made a post about it on Twitter. All right, so if we look, oops, why am I doing that? Okay, so if we look here, had a nice little pop. We ideally would like to see it get back up to here. It would be fantastic. It has earnings Monday morning, so we're going to find out real quick, if it can make that jump, or are we going to see it fill this gap here? That's the question. So, if it jumps down here, we know doesn't look good. But for guidance should be good since the Biden presidency, they're going to, marijuana was approved in multiple states. This could be a big winner in the future. I am waiting until more news about them decriminalizing marijuana, and that'll, give it a nice little pump, and that's probably when I'll get out. I don't know how strong of an infrastructure marijuana sales has now that they're going to be national and not just in certain states. Can they handle the scale up? Can they handle the logistics? There's a lot of business questions about this. I know a lot of people are all excited about it, but from an from my business perspective, can it follow through on the potential? That's the question for me. So that's what I'm unsure of. If I get a nice little pop when they start to talk more about decriminalizing marijuana, then I might exit unless I can see them set up well for the future on their fundamentals. So I will be paying close attention to that, and I'll share that with you guys, of course. All right, Lemonade. So Lemonade has earnings coming up, and Lemonade's that insurance company. It's kind of I call it a millennial insurance company because it's such a brand new company, and a lot of millennials use them for like apartments and things like that. It's very cheap, easy. I've not heard how it does when you actually have a claim, but that's beyond the point right now. The stock's doing pretty well. It just jumped above the 50-day moving average, so maybe it pops for earnings. It's got earnings coming up this week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So maybe we see a nice little pop for it, but also, this is so new. As you can see right here, it just barely had a 50-day average because before that hadn't been around for 50 days. So, it's moving along. It's a new stock. It's had two earnings so far. And the trend's not looking great, but maybe they've gotten it going. They figured out how to do conference calls. They've figured out how to do earnings, and they're above the 50-day moving average. So who knows? Maybe that's why they're on honorable mention because it is a little risky. I wouldn't pick this as a stock pick. Okay, let's go to the next one, and the final one is Taiwanese Semiconductor. Okay, this one's an interesting one. The reason this one is interesting is because it looks like it's on a wave 3. But fundamentally, there's a lot of questions with it. Let's see. Nvidia used to do them. Oh, they don't anymore. They're manufacturing their own with ARMs. Okay, well AMD used to use them. Oh, not anymore. They're using Xilinx because they vertically integrate. They no longer horizontally integrate, which means you use a third party. Intel uses them a lot. Apple used to use them. Well, Apple is going to use them right now, but something tells me that Apple will start to manufacture their own chips eventually. So where's all their business going to come from? If it's just only going to be Intel, and Intel keeps losing market share, I don't know how well Taiwanese Semiconductor will do in the future. It's very dependent on a lot of people using them. So we'll see. I know a Biden presidency says a lot a lot friendlier relationship with China. So this could be a winner or this could be bad. I don't know. This is why it's a little risky. Let's keep watching it and see how it does. So, and with that, that is my stock picks for the week, my run up to earnings, and my honorable mention. So if you guys have questions, please message me. Please comment on this post, and it will help you guys as much as I can. All right, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you all later. Okay. Bye-bye.